Hey everybody, this is Matthew Krause, and you are listening to the podcast Working Drummer. Today is my interview with Jeff Hartsough. Jeff is the executive director of the Percussive Arts Society, or PAS. We talk about all the benefits that PAS has for drummers, educators, members and non-members alike. We talk about the Rhythm Discovery Center in Indianapolis, Indiana, where the interview was conducted. Jeff also gives us some insight on the Percussive Arts Society International Convention that's going on November 11th through the 14th in San Antonio, Texas. As always, you can go to workingdrummer.net where you can find out more about this podcast, see pictures, and information about other interviews that we've done. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. We also have a YouTube page where you can see some interviews and find out more information about upcoming events. Questions and comments are always welcome. One last thing I just want to let you guys know about this interview. My microphone was not on during the interview. We have very few technical glitches, but this was one of those times. But I think the interview was really great, and luckily Jeff talks 80% of the time. But I did some overdubbing of my own voice, and so if it sounds a little funny, robotic, that's why. We're trying to match my voice up with the video that will be up on YouTube. So let's get to it. Here is Jeff Hartsough. Man, thanks a lot for sitting down, and we appreciate this.
It's great to hear from you.
Oh, yeah. Just finished an awesome tour of this location, and our tour guide,
Aaron Jeter.
Aaron, was awesome. And she's instrumental in getting a lot of tours scheduled and organized, so anybody that comes down here and wants to check this out, she would probably be the one.
Right, yeah. Anybody can contact us here by phone call or email through the website. Even contact me directly, and then I'll work with Aaron to get any special tours set up. Today we gave you sort of the special tour, which is called the Behind the Glass tour.
Behind the Glass.
And the Behind the Glass, it's a little extra to pay to be able to do that. But what we do is we take you into the collection that most people don't get to see, of all the rare, one-of-a-kind prototypes and snare drums owned by everybody from Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa. I mean, a lot of really famous guys, Louis Bellson. It's just it's you.
Well, there were some very rare items. Some of the snare drums where there were only 50 made, and you guys have 3 of them.
Right. Yeah, with the Gladstones.
The Gladstones,
Yeah.
Some of the unique inventions. I think that's one of the things that as we discover drums, we discover all the mechanics, and that piques our interest, not only the sounds and the music that accompanies all those things, but I think that as drummers, we geek out over the invention and all those little things that make it what it is, and the mechanic in us.
Yeah.
The engineer in us wants to explore.
Well, it's so true. I mean, I think, being drummers and percussionists we're very mathematical thinking anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so the engineer side of us, we're always thinking of how can we do this better?
Yeah.
or modify this to make it work for me. And so that certainly comes out. And, probably one of the things that you got to see that I would love for more people to see is our foot pedal collection.
Oh yeah, I got some great pictures.
It's one of the only ones like it in the world. I think we have the most extensive foot pedal collections in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, you can see everything from the very early stages of like late 1800s, early 1900s, very crude, made out of wood. Foot pedals where people were starting to think, how can I move from my hands to the double drumming technique to starting to utilize my feet. And so from starting from there all the way through the Ludwig inventions and everything else in between, all the way to modern day with some of the best pedals that are in the collection with all the major manufacturers. So it's really really cool. That one collection alone is awesome.
We haven't even said where exactly we are. What city we are in.
That's true.
What the name of this place is.
Most people are probably thinking we're in Nashville.
Right. No, we're not in Nashville. They probably can see from the title. We're at the Percussive Arts Society, but where is this? What is this location?
Sure. We're in the Rhythm Discovery Center, and the Rhythm Discovery Center was a creative vision of the Percussive Arts Society. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary here in the heart of downtown Indianapolis. And so we're actually at 110 West Washington Street in downtown Indianapolis. And this center is very community-based. We've had visitors literally from all over the world who have found out about us, who come in on a weekly basis to not only see the exhibits for the drumming geeks like us, but we also have families who come in. We do school group tours just to get them excited. We have been funded by the NAM Foundation to carry out what we call our Find Your Rhythm program, where we bring in underfunded schools to help pay for their transportation and also their fees to come in and take a tour of the Rhythm Discovery Center and discover music, and not just drums and percussion, but just get them excited about music, because it's so important in education, especially with all the funding cuts and so forth. Right. We're trying to supplement that and continue to get them excited. And so it's for families, it's for young kids of all ages. I mean, we literally have guys that work across the street at PNC Bank, or any of the downtown offices. We've got guys who come in here on their lunch hours and bring like a bag lunch and sit in the soundproof room and play for 45 minutes on the drum sets that we have in there. So it's a very interactive. It's not your typical museum. I mean, this is one of the only places where you can come and we don't tell you not to touch things other than like a kit like this, of course. But we have over 200 instruments that can be played.
Lots of interactive things. Lots of opportunities to get your hands on things, literally hand drums, sticks, cymbals. You have that huge gong. What is that thing?
The gong drum.
The gong drum.
Yeah, the gong drum was made for us by Remo and donated to us at our opening. And that's sort of the introduction to the center when you first enter. When you first enter, you see Gene Krupa's kit next to Buddy Rich's kit. Set up in there, as some of you may know, they used to do drum battles back in the day and record them on audio. And so we've set up a little exhibit, sort of previewing the larger drum set exhibit that we have going on right now. How
long is this exhibit going on?
The drum set exhibit's going to go on at least until the July 2016, August 2016. So about another year or so. It's been very successful. So, but the gong drum is one of the first things that you see when you first enter.
You hear and feel, and I fill my lunch hour getting out all my anxieties from working at the bank.
Yeah.
By just feeling the vibrations off the.
Yeah, and we've got a gong in there, and in that same area that people can feel the difference and learn the difference of membranophones versus the metals, and then we introduced the woods.
Right.
So there's actually a sort of a hidden message there to introduce people to those three things in particular, but to also understand that their drumming is much more and goes much deeper than just music or being the guy in the back of the stage. I mean, there's the vibrations of the healing power of drumming and so forth. So
lots of religious connections to some of the things that we saw when we were walking through. And also, for those who kind of understand drums, drum set, but it goes back. There's a history. There's a cultural significance that kind of creates a connection among cultures, and it's great to see the drum sets in here.
Right.
And it's great to but it's really good, even as a drummer all my life, to put the pieces together and see that, oh, I get it. It's so much bigger than this.
Yeah.
So much bigger than me. And to see all those things and to be able to hear. And I mean, the tam-tam gong alone, it's like, wait a minute, remind me again what this is again? There was a lot of education today for me.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, I mean, it's that's what's great about this place, is that you can come here and not be a musician at all and totally enjoy it and learn a lot, or you can be a drum geek like us, and there's things here for us too to geek out on, and like you said, sort of bring you back to, oh yeah, I haven't thought about that in a long time, and so it's something that we're real proud of, and welcome everybody. And of course, the drum set exhibit is our primary exhibit right now, but we have 4 other main exhibits that are here for people to enjoy, and quite honestly, from a community standpoint and an education standpoint, the drum set exhibit, for as cool as it is, almost gets overshadowed by all the rest of the exhibits and hands-on things that we have going on here.
Right. So, for example, you have the drum circle in the middle.
Yeah.
So what goes on there? What do you guys do?
Well, typically a couple different things. I mean, when we do give tours in particular, which we do tours for the schools that I mentioned through our Find Your Rhythm program that we do, but we also do like leadership meetings, and we do private events here where people can come, and corporations will come in here, and we'll do leadership trainings and so forth like that, and group building experiences. So that the drum circle area, which we call the plaza, which is sort of the center stage, if you will, of the entire center. Everything sort of spawns off that middle section. So it's primarily used for drum circle purposes, where at the end of a tour we give a drum circle, and so people can actually realize that, hey, I can play drums. Like, actually, maybe I have some rhythm.
Do you ever have a group where nobody is a drummer?
Oh yeah. And believe it or not, those are the people that seem to have the most fun, because it's like you've awakened the drummer inside them that they didn't know, because a lot of people are like, I don't have any rhythm at all. It's like, no, you really do. You have rhythm in your body every day, just starting with your heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
And you have your breathing rhythm.
Yeah.
And when you start to talk to those people in particular about that, you can just see things like their thoughts start to like open up. And like I said, they discover like a whole new realm of their aptitude and brain that they haven't even discovered yet. So the people that come in and get to drum that aren't drummers and percussionists, they're the ones that almost get more excited than...
That's exciting. That's got to be fun to see. To see that, it's got to remind you of what it was like when you discovered it.
Yeah, and it does. It keeps you kind of reminded and grounded of, especially when you see little kids in particular, but adults too, but especially when you see little kids just like getting so excited. I mean, we've got some great photographs of little kids just being so excited, and it brings you back to like, man, that used to be me, before I got dark on the...
When did I become so jaded?
Yeah, exactly. Percussive Arts Society, been around now for 54 years. It was an organization that was founded by 14 individuals back in the day to kind of create an environment or a community of drummers and percussionists, and also the industry side. And at that time, we were looking at the drum and percussion industry really it was in its infancy stage. So
we're looking at 1961?
Yeah, and so we're looking at, Remo Belli being in the beginning, Ludwig in the beginning. I mean, there was only just a few companies, Zildjian, that were around at that time, and who wanted to kind of support and create, again, a community, a society of drummers and percussionists, where the industry could support education and kind of cultivate the new drummers and percussionists of the new era and whatnot. So it since then has built to where we have chapters all over the world. We probably are most well known for the Percussive Arts Society International Convention, which is PASIC. I know a lot of people know PASIC, but they usually don't know what it stands for. But
right.
It's, Percussive Arts Society International Convention. And this is our 40th anniversary this year for PASIC, and that's going to be in San Antonio, Texas, November 11th through the 14th. So that is something that we're really excited about. People can go to the website, either pasic.org or pas.org, to look at all the artist listings and the groups that are performing.
Can you recall anybody that's on this list? Anybody that's performing? Could you mention a few of those?
I mean, there are so many to mention. I don't want to leave anybody off, but the evening concerts are all great. We have everything from percussion ensemble pieces being played to Ghost Note, which are the guys from Snarky Puppy, the drummer and percussionist from Snarky Puppy, have put their own group together called Ghost Note, and Friday nights and all vibes thing with Joe Locke and Stephon Harris and a few other guys who are all going to be playing together at the same time, which is four of the top vibraphonists in the world playing it. Clinic wise, it's all over the map. I mean, we've got Annika Niles coming in from Germany. She's amazing for any of you that have not seen her yet. Just amazing drummer. And from her to Ndugu Chancellor and everybody in between. So it's a great lineup. I encourage everybody to go to the websites and look at it. If you're interested in coming, you can register for a 4-day badge, or you can actually come and we have what we call general admission or single session tickets, where it's $20. You don't have to be a member of PAS if you don't want to be. You can just come and pay $20 and get into any single one session or evening concert that you want. For anybody that's in Texas or maybe wants to drive down, we also have day passes available. So there's a lot of different options. You can go find the tickets on Eventbrite under PASIC 15, or you can go to our website and register for the day passes through us. It is available to non-members. It's just more expensive. The members are a little less expensive. It's a couple $100. I forget the exact pricing, like $235, I think, at that point.
But all that information is on the website.
It's all on the website, and if you get a 4-day badge, that gives you access to everything. And realistically, compared to other events, even music festivals out there like Austin City Limits Festival or South by Southwest or whatever you want to, the price is ridiculously cheap for that.
And it's concentrated in things that you really want to see and experience. Who you want to meet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing is every year it's like a family reunion. I mean, people, drummers and percussionists from all over the world, whether they're giving a clinic or not, come. Yeah. All the industry is there. All the manufacturers have booths. It's like a mini NAMM show at the expo.
Oh, right. So explain the expo.
The expo is like I said, it's like a mini NAMM show. So we have all the manufacturers. We have the small boutique drum manufacturers there, or percussion accessory manufacturers. We have everybody from Sabian to Zildjian to Pearl to Yamaha, DW, Gretsch. I mean, they're all there with booths. And what's really cool is the exhibitors or the manufacturers have, in the last several years, have really begun premiering their new gear at PASIC ahead of NAMM show.
Oh.
So, it gives them a little bit of time. They get some feedback, and I think might have a chance to maybe make some tweaks before they premiere it at the NAMM show. But pretty much they are.
And there are some
you get the
serious
sneak peek.
people that are looking and checking out what you got or what they've got.
And the other great thing, too, is that you can buy directly off the floor.
Okay.
So, if you want to come, it's $20. If you just want to go to the expo, bring a wad of cash and walk out with a great deal of new drum set or some new cymbals or new mallets, whatever.
Right.
Even I mean, you can buy 5-octave marimbas off the companies. I mean, at a significant discount. So you have that option. So another great reason to come to the expo portion of PASIC.
November 11th through the 14th.
Yep.
In Austin.
No, in San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
So go to the walk.
Go to the
river
walk. Don't fall in.
Don't fall in. How do you know this?
Actually,
personal experience?
No, someone told me.
When I was pulling them out.
Yeah. In a nutshell, I oversee all the operations from top to bottom for the entire organization.
Yeah. And you're spending time between Austin. That's why I said Austin, because you're spending time between Austin and here.
I do. I'm still an active player, and so I record and play actively in Austin. So I do spend time in Austin at least once a month, And the rest of the time, I'm here in Indianapolis, running things here and making sure the convention's coming together okay, and working ahead on what our new exhibits are going to be here, and working on membership initiatives, and just every piece of the puzzle I'm got my fingers on.
You and I have known each other for a long time. We both worked together at Columbus Pro Percussion
That's
in
right.
Columbus, Ohio, with Jim Rupp back in for me, it was the mid-'90s, and you were there. You were managing the store when I was there.
Right, that's right.
So it's just great to reconnect, man.
Yeah.
And I think we saw each other in Texas when I was touring, and we had some great mountain biking
Yeah, we
experience,
did.
and you crashed.
Did I? I don't remember that.
Yeah, and I think you hit your head. No, I think you dislocated
Oh,
your
my shoulder.
or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It
wasn't serious. I thought I did at the time, but
No.
but yet, nonetheless, it was a great time. I'm still mountain biking. Bikes are like snare drums with me. I just you don't need it, but you want it, and you just add that other one to the collection. Or cymbals, same thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, are you originally from Columbus?
Yeah, I grew up in Columbus.
Okay.
And then from there, my background is I actually did business and music. As far as school goes, I did some drum corps, did some teaching.
Right.
Yeah, and
Was there a particular line you marched with?
I marched in 27th Lancers and Suncoast Sound.
Okay.
And then from there, I taught Magic of Orlando and Spirit of Atlanta and a couple others. So I had a lot of experience in that time frame. And kind of during that time, I was also going to school, working on my degrees, and I had started working at Columbus Percussion part-time in around 1985. And so then eventually became general manager until about 97. And then I left there and went to ProMark, where I was director of artist relations and marketing worldwide. And then in 2002 is when I came to PAS, at that time as the executive producer and director of PASIC. And so have been here now with PAS since then, and will be soon coming up on my 15 years, which is weird to think about.
Commitment, man.
Yeah, commitment for sure. And I think I've been executive director now for about 2.5 years. So, yeah.
So, have things changed a lot for you as far as what you were doing when you first started with PAS compared to now?
Oh, yeah.
Basic responsibilities have grown exponentially?
Yeah, for sure. Just the industry has changed. We are constantly adapting to what's happening out there. Literally, you hear it all the time, but the internet changed everything. Right now, PAS is also, in addition to the chapters that we have worldwide, we also have committees that are made up of the different segments of drums and percussion. So we have like a health and wellness committee, we have a symphonic committee, we have the drum set committee, on down the line, of all the different areas, pedagogy and education. We rely heavily on the feedback from the committees to kind of steer the direction we're going. The website, we're constantly putting up videos and educational content. Resource-wise, I would say we're probably the best resource out there in the world, and have a lot of things that no one else has. Of course, there's so much out there for free. Resources for, if you're, let's say, a band director, non-percussionist band director, and you need some help, and you can't, you don't have the funds to hire a percussion specialist. We have resources to help those band directors. We also have, for the most advanced doctoral student, we have articles and research articles and so forth from our magazine, Percussive Notes or Rhythm Scene magazine, that they can use for any number of researches, whether it be on a particular excerpt or if it's about how to make your own marimba, let's say, and everything in between. So we have a little bit of information for almost everybody out there, no matter what your specialty is or what level you're at. And so we're a lot to a lot of people.
Well, and I just want to make sure that people understand what you guys provide that's different than getting on YouTube and just going down that rabbit hole of watching players do something that, and that has its merit.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to get specific, whether you're a teacher, educator, like you said, non-drummer,
Yeah.
or if you're a student or a graduate student, those are things you can't easily access.
No, like we have databases where you can go on and search about particular pieces that were written, maybe that you want your ensemble to play. You can go on the site and research those. We encourage ensembles to submit their programs from performances that they've done, and those are online. So you can go online and maybe you're putting together a performance or a recital, and you kind of want to look at what some other people have done as far back as, say, 1970, to the present. So we're a wealth of knowledge that, again, isn't easily found on the internet. Like you said, there's a ton of videos out there of guys shredding, which is great. I love it too. Now with our videos, they're from PASIC, and they show some, great shredding, let's say, but then there's a lot of educational content as well. Again, so it may be drum set, it's provided, or it could be symphonic or whatever. There's different areas that you can kind of dig in, and depending on what you're looking for, you can go as deep down that hole as you want to find the research that you're looking for. Even here at the Rhythm Discovery Center, we obviously have the collection, but we also have our archives and libraries, which is huge. It's huge. And so you can literally come here, go into the library, which we didn't show you today. Yeah, we need more time to go and pull off the shelves anything, instructional books, like one of a kind, like the original scores to particular pieces of music. It's available to the PAS membership, and you can come in here and spend as much time in the research room as you want. So it's, we are here for as little or as much as you want to use PAS for. So, and then of course, PASIC is just an extension of what we're about, all condensed into 4 days. We work with Riley's Children's Hospital here in Indianapolis as well, where we'll go and do drum circles there at the hospital for the kids. And that's a huge enlightenment for them. And they and Riley has their own music therapists and people on staff there as well, which is just huge. Like I said, it's kind of become its own thing, and now we're kind of part of it. But it's a huge segment by itself. There's a great organization that I want to mention that we work directly with and have a really great relationship, but one of many, but this one in particular, it's called Drums for Cures. And
right, I was going to ask you about that. I saw that on your website.
Yeah, we're actually partnering with them. We're raffling right now, if I can do a little plug. We're raffling Neil Peart's, one of Neil Peart's kit, his floor tom head actually off this kit that was last used on the 1974 All the World's a Stage tour. Neil signed it. It's a chrome Evans drum head off the 16-inch floor tom off of this kit when he was using it. And we're raffling that off. And you can go to our homepage at pas.org, and it's right on the homepage there. You can click on how to buy raffle tickets to have a chance at winning at that. We're going to do the drawing the last day of PASIC. So it's really cool. It's a specially framed drum head that I think would look great in anybody's home. We're working, this raffle is with them, and so we're going to split the proceeds from however much we raise from that to go towards their mission and also our mission as well. And their mission is more or less working with cancer patients, and not only from a therapeutic standpoint, but just raising awareness and helping to raise funds to help battle cancer. So it's a great organization. They come to PASIC every year, and they'll have a booth there. And Scott Swimmer is the executive director, my equivalent to that organization. Great person, and that's an example of one of the organizations that crosses over, that we work closely with. Percussive Notes is our hard copy journal that we print every other month. We have 5 issues a year. The issue that just came out now, by the way, is the digital version of it is free on the website because it's the PASIC preview issue. So within that issue, there's articles written about a bunch of the sessions that will be at PASIC. Not all of them, but a majority of them. And like I said, that's our printed magazine / journal. Rhythm Scene is a somewhat new magazine. That it's a digital only magazine that you can download from newsstand, from the Apple Store. We have it available for all the Apple products, the iPad and the iPhone 6. We also have the Android version off of the Google Play Store, and then also the Kindle Fire version from the Amazon store. So that's a digital magazine that comes out every other month, opposite of Percussive Notes.
What's different about that?
Well, the Percussive Notes is more of a journal that would be more educationally based, collegiate-based sort of articles that kind of dive in more to technique and particular pieces or percussion ensembles.
It's maybe
setups.
A little bit more focused material?
Yeah, it's more of like it's more of to the core of what the PAS membership, your students and professors and so forth. Rhythm Scene is more broad, where we're reaching out to the drum set players, more of the world drummers and the health and wellness guys, the drum circle people, paying more attention to even the marching guys, and featuring the marching world a little bit more. And it's more accessible, and we try to make that more to the general public, as somebody who might be an enthusiast or a hobbyist. It just that magazine has a slightly different vibe. It's got a more of a funner, shorter articles, a lot more pictures, more of what you would consider, what people are used to today in their short attention span. So it's a little more colorful and so forth. So we kind of, we feel like between those two magazines, even though one is in print and the other one's strictly digital, we kind of feel like we're speaking to a very broad group of people through both of those.
Is there anything special about this being the 40th anniversary of PASIC that you guys are doing this year?
Well, we're just having, we just really went after having some really great concerts, great daytime showcase concerts, the clinics, the master classes.
So next year is going to be lame.
Well, I mean, that's the worry I always have. What am I going to do next year? That's always the worry.
Set the bar high, man.
I know it's a challenge, but that. And the fact that it's in Texas, we always have a great turnout in Texas, and of course, especially for the people from the East Coast and Midwest, coming down to Texas when it's in the 80s, or possibly, I know in 2012, I think we even were in the low 90s in 2012 when we were in Austin. So of course, it's a great escape for everyone to come and get away from the weather if it's bad, which is always nice.
Well, San Antonio is beautiful.
It is. I think everyone will have a great time, and looking forward to it. But just having it in Texas, and then just all the different sessions and concerts that we've been able to program are going to make it real special. Currently, we're on a sort of a setup where we do 2 years here in Indy and 1 year usually in Texas or somewhere else.
But it's central either way. It's easy to get to. It's whether East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, especially for San Antonio, I mean, that's really central to the East and West Coast. So, all of you out there on the West Coast, it's a lot easier for you to get to San Antonio. And we typically do draw quite a bit from the West Coast and the Western states that don't usually come to Indianapolis. The other great thing about having it here in Indianapolis, though, too, is that it's sort of a well-oiled machine here. Being in San Antonio this year, it's sort of like having to start over from scratch, because
it's a circus.
You don't know the building, you don't know the logistics. I mean, it's literally like starting over, which it's been fun, but it's been a challenge. So hopefully it'll come together and be okay. That's the great thing about having it here too, is that, everyone, otherwise they may not come to Indianapolis very often, if at all, other than for PASIC. So it allows them to come to the Rhythm Discovery Center, of which if you are here for PASIC, you get in for free if you have a PASIC badge. And as a member of PAS, you get to see what your membership dollars go towards, which is, something very special. And so it is sort of that extra added advantage and luxury of having it in Indianapolis, is that you have this to come to when you feel like you need to get away from the craziness of the convention center. So. Pleasure to hear from you, and I'm glad things are going so well with the podcast, and I'm just thrilled to be a part, or that you thought of PAS and Rhythm Discovery Center, to be part of it, and invite you guys back anytime you want to come back, and hopefully you can spend more time, because you can literally spend a whole day in here if you wanted to.
Hey, Jeff. It was a pleasure, man.
Pleasure. Yeah, it was great to see you. Oh, and again, anybody that is interested in getting in touch with us, you can reach us through pas.org or rhythmdiscoverycenter.org. And if you're interested in PASIC, you can go to pasic.org and find out all the information. And if there's something on there that you can't find or you need information for, our phone numbers and emails are on there. And feel free to give us a call. That's what we're here for. So thanks so much. Appreciate it. Come back soon.
PAS, folks. PASIC 2015. Check it out if you can. Not my favorite audio recording of my voice, but I'm glad we were able to make that happen. And thanks, Jeff, so much for taking the time to sit down and talk with us. As you can guess, the time leading up to PASIC is super crazy for Jeff. So for him to take even just the short amount of time that he did, we are very grateful for that. Much thanks to Mike Jackson for helping me. He went above and beyond to help me get this worked out, all the technical glitches down to a minimum so we could present something palatable and hopefully entertaining and informative. I want to read a comment from David McQuaid on our website. He writes, "Thank you for doing the podcast. They're all great. Enjoy the stories and information the guys all share." That's great. David, thanks so much for that. And any other comments or questions that you guys have in any of the formats that we have, please send them our way. We really appreciate it. But thanks again for listening, and I hope to see you around. Bye-bye.